Hello, fellow Mythrunians, and welcome to another weekly live stream. Although lately they've been almost bi-weekly, because we missed last week. Yeah, it was 4th of July weekend. A little problematic for getting the stream going, as it turns out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Those are the patrons. They help me keep the lights on, sort of. Although I am no longer breaking even at this point, but some of that is because things have gotten more expensive. So what we're doing, we're trying to get a bandit camp working. And like I've spent lots of time tearing down and redesigning the habitat system. So I've changed the name settlement to habitat because habitat could be more than just a settlement. A settlement is a particular type of habitat. So that's one of the things I came up with last weekend in multiple 8-hour design sessions. Good times. So I've been working on, so a habitat is something that can activate as the player gets within a certain number of tiles being the kilometer square. I'll show you on the map. Hopefully we can do most of this in the game today. I've kind of gotten set up for bandits, a bandit camp. I've got entities and management. So I've got 3 bandits in this little bandit camp that I'm playing with. Okay. Come on, you can do it. Okay, so let's... Well, we kind of do want time to pass because we're writing time-based stuff. But the time we see here is only for the visualization. Time keeps ticking by in the game itself. Like if we do time... because you can't see that. So you see, like, this says time 4:14, and if we run it again, it keeps advancing, even though I've locked the visual time so that we can have daylight. So I've got the campfire is the location of the bandit camp, and I've been playing with different tent styles. I think I like this one better. You guys can comment what you think. These short flat ones seem to not really have enough space for anybody to like actually crawl in, whereas this one seems appropriately roomy without like being too wide, and I kind of like the detail there. Yeah, I was trying to make a bench because I can't actually make half-size logs, so I need to fix that because that would be better just to have a half-size log as a bench. Anyway, so I've got these guys set up. One of the things I worked on this week was being able to have random outfits that use just a subset of the clothing and a subset of the possible fabrics. So, like you can set up a spreadsheet of, like this is the bandit clothing where you can set up, different layers. So this will be, you could have multiple shirts, but this is the shirt 1 layer, and it could be any of these things randomly. The pants could be either of these things randomly. The boots could be any of these things randomly, and so on. And then you've got multiple, or none if you want an option of none. So some of the bandits might have no armor on their arms. And then you've got, Bandit 2, which has different, and you may optionally randomly have an overshirt, which is what this... this is what she's got on, is the overshirt, so it kind of hides her armor, which I thought was kind of cool for a bandit. I may also give them kind of like a smaller backpack, which I thought would be kind of cool, but I can't get too wrapped around. I just want to get the ability to have custom outfits, because then as I get to the town denizens, a blacksmith and a baker and stuff, they might have more specific outfits than just the random gaudy outfits that I give the quest NPCs right now. which are just purely random. So this one not only it has a subset of the thing, but it picks a fabric set. In this case, dark 1, and so then a fabric set. Come on, where you can say so this is the default that maps all of the any linen type can become any of the other cloth types, any wool and so on. But the dark 1 specifically only allows certain colors to come through, and you can map specific colors through too. So if you want brass to always be brass and never randomize, you can do that stuff like that too. So it gives me the option of taking standard clothing that I have and then limiting the random fabrics that get picked, so that we get like this cool. Because what I didn't want, like, if you come up with across a random NPC in the woods, you should be able to kind of guess from their clothing what they're going to be doing. And if they're out in the woods hanging out in all black, you should have some reasonable suspicion that they're not good guys. So anyway, the goal for the bandit camp is to have a daily schedule for each of these guys, where at night they pick watch for each of them, and they so any of you have ever played D&D or have ever actually been camping where you had to keep watch knows that if you have like a 3-watch night, the middle watch is the crappy one, because you go to sleep for 3 or 4 hours, then you get up and you have to do watch, and then you go back to sleep for 3 or 4 hours. So it's the crappiest one. So they'll rotate who gets the middle watch, and then whoever gets the middle watch gets to stay back at camp that day and tend the camp, and the other 2 will go out on patrol. And I want to set it up so that if it had more than 3 bandits in a camp, that they would divvy that up. So each habitat has the ability to set a schedule. Well, certainly a settlement. So the settlement is a specific kind of habitat that has basically mobs that it manages. So this is a bandit camp, is a type of settlement, and each of these guys can have a daily schedule, and the camp itself can have a schedule on whatever interval it wants. And so every day at 6 p.m. the idea is going to give these guys their daily schedule for that night and the next day, up until 6 p.m. the next day, set the camp schedule, and then they do their thing. So I'm going to try to get those schedules set up to the point where we have routines defined, and we can assign them routines, and then as we use that time command to like advance time manually, we can see them at least shout out what they intend to do. I don't know if we'll try to get to actually making them do the things too. There's a certain let's see. So where did we leave off last time? We did all that stuff. Let me start a new thing. So we had that old prototype where I had a whole town and the NPCs walking around, and they each had their schedules, and I kind of trashed that whole idea. I wrote a lot of Java code, but in some deep design discussions with Gemini, I trashed all that because I just simplified it a lot. So a town or a habitat, a settlement, will have a timeline, and a timeline runs scheduled events on some interval, and when we're not around, so that's what I was talking about before. If we bring up the map, each of these squares is a tile, and around the player in sort of a 5x5 grid centered around the players, where we'll activate any of the settlements that intersect those, because that's also the same area we load the trees and the far buildings and things. And so if you have like NPCs off in the distance building things or chopping trees down, you'll want to see that. So we'll have to activate all the towns within that area, all the settlements, and then while the settlement is active, there we go, that's what I wanted to do. While the settlement is active, we'll be managing the NPCs. I have a managed mob is what I'm calling them right now. And it runs basically a schedule of routines. capital R routines. And a routine is the adapter between the settlement schedule and the actual agent's disposition. And for those who don't remember, disposition is sort of like the mode that the NPC is in. So if they're sleeping, that's a disposition. If they're patrolling, that's a disposition, and that'll associate with an activity, which is behavior tree and all that other stuff. But from the routines perspective, it's going to set these dispositions. And the reason we need an adapter is because when the NPC is active, when the agent is active, it's taking care of its own management. It'll do pathfinding. It'll find where it is, and that's when we can actually potentially see the NPC. Like as the player, we can see it, so we're close enough that it needs to be actively managed by its real brain and its real AI. When it's far enough that we can't see it, we need these routines to adapt those dispositions because, one of a certain disposition might be to wander in a certain area, in which case the routine has to simulate that on a low level of detail. It doesn't have to do all the pathfinding necessarily. It doesn't have to, manage the actual, animated state of that, but it needs to know sort of in general at any given time of day where that agent would be within that activity, so that if it moves into the view of the player, we can instantiate it and turn it into a real brain and everything else. But also really far away, sort of the town or the settlement itself will sort of manage the routines of these guys. And if one routine was sleeping and the next routine is work, and so we can see the routine ends at the bed and work is supposed to start at the smithy, we can insert makeup routines, a transit routine to deal with the fact that they're going to have to move from one position to the other. And so if a player comes upon the town close enough that we might see the NPC, then we suddenly have to find out where their position is based on that transit routine. I hope all this is making sense. Anyway, so we're working on the schedule right now, and I purposely the Bandit camp is a special case because a town could decide its schedule at midnight, but a Bandit camp needs to decide its schedule before everybody goes to bed that night. So I've picked 6 p.m. arbitrarily because that's sort of the time I imagine they'll come back to camp, to do dinner or whatever. But it's a pain because you'll have this if you came across the town at 1 a.m., for example, to figure out where everybody is right now, you have to calculate the interval from 6 p.m. the day before, even though you've crossed midnight. So there's going to be some math involved in that. So I'm going to... what is this? I can't actually see what that says. Something... this? And it's interesting that... There it goes. It finally made the sound. Let me make sure my thing isn't making noise. Okay. I don't know if that was supposed to be an icon. My eyesight actually can't even see what that is. It's like something this. Anyway, welcome to the chat. So anyway, I'll probably just give them some basic dispositions that let us walk them through the day and make sure that the schedules are working appropriately as we build up these routines and so on. I just said hill. Oh. Hill this. Huh. So anyway, so this is the Bandit camp habitat factory. It creates the Bandit camp, sets up a schedule to run every day at 6 p.m. Maybe your font is messed up because I'm definitely not writing hill. Let me see what the I don't have mix it up in front, so hold on a second. Oh, it does say. Oh, it says hi. I see. Hi. Yeah, I can't. It's hard to tell the difference between a lowercase I and an L with my eyesight. But yeah, the first one. Yeah. Yes. Hi. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I wish I could show you what it looked like in Obs's chat window, which is the one I see. Yeah, so yeah, it looks correct in your guys' view, and it looks correct in Mix It Up. It just does not look correct in Obs's view. So anyway, no matter. But yeah, that was weird. Like hi turned out into, it turned some weird. Can I paste images into the chat? Because that's really bizarre. Can I? Snipping tool. New. Copy. I wonder if I can make a new image. Okay, create a new one. Okay. Let me save as weird text.png. Okay. See, what did you say? Yeah, there's emoji. Yeah. Okay, so let's browse. This is so weird. This is like hacking around in. There's no easy way to paste an image. What did I call it? Weird text, right? You guys can't see what I'm doing, but trust me. Okay, so here we go. Weird text. Yeah, so let's do this, and yeah, there it is. That is what I saw. Is this weird? It didn't even have a hi. Yeah, that's just so weird. Anyway, yeah, exactly. What the? Anyway, back to the work at hand. That was fun. I'm sure there's a reason. We probably don't need to worry too much about it. But all right, so yeah, so then what I was going to is like this is where the day would be set up. We're already keeping track of the current mobs in the thing, though I have not. So I've got a standard settlement that I'm building out, a settlement class. So we may have to restart the game a few times. Oh, the other thing I did, which maybe you guys noticed, is there's no seams. Used to be we could see the skin between at the shoulders, and it was really bad for the male. Like this is what it used to look like, right? Lots and lots of gaps. But I finally loaded it up, at least for the humans. The male took quite a bit of editing, and I should be able to copy those UVs over to the elf bodies without too much issue. But yeah, so I even fixed her up. She had a couple little seams, but it makes so much difference to me. Like, they look so much better this way. They looked like their clothes were falling apart before. Yeah, the other thing I need to fix is, since I switched over to the new I still work on my own game in an engine outside of Roblox. Oh, nice. Yeah, UV mapping. Well, it's especially tricky in Mythruna because like the characters have a grid over them to allow the clothes to paint on. And so at every seam you have to line the grids up correctly. And these are different, like the arms are different UV island than the torso, and so you have to make sure that they all line up so that, if she was wearing a plaid shirt, that the plaid would kind of like match. and that the seams down the middle and so on all match up, so that we can have editable clothing. And so there's it's extra fun. It's not just normal UV distribution, but I've got to make sure the shoulder blades line up correctly and also don't show gaps, and the tops of the shoulders line up so that these straps line up, etc., etc. Good times. Okay. So now you do your modeling and texturing in this engine, right? You don't. No, I'm using Blender. So Blender, I make the models in Blender and I do the animations in Blender, but the clothing itself is made in the engine using, the clothing editor. So if I want to, work on black twill pants, I can edit them and, make my own swatches. But that's because the UVs and texture maps have already been set up to let me do that. And eventually there'll be, clothing layers that are actual geometry, so you can have robes and dresses and capes and things. But for now, it's just the skin tight stuff, which is enough to sort of prove the concept and have unique looking characters. So that's where I stopped. Although, I did eventually add hats, right? We can have, I think I have a straw hat in here. So this is an example of a separate layer. So if we had the head here, like we can have, separate layers that sit over the regular stuff. And so robes and dresses and capes and stuff would be done similarly. That way I could animate them specifically, and they would have their own UVs and paintable stuff just like this. So if we don't want to show the hat, we can even paint on the head if we wanted. And eventually I'll do the same. I'll do similar with hairstyles too. But that's for a way different time. Right now everybody's got short hair and that'll be fine. There we go. So let me think. What we want to do next is figure out who's who. And unfortunately, I think that means I'm going to have to restart. I don't think I've provided the hooks. Let's see if we can iterate over the will it let me do mobs get array each log info mob it. Okay, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Timeline update. Uh-oh, there's a bug in the timeline code. Maybe I did something wrong. Alright. We're gonna have to kill it. So there must be a bug in the timeline code. I can close this now. It's all brand new. I have like only basic unit tests, and so whoops. Check index. Timeline update. Timeline 110. Timeline. Well, this will give us a chance to let's see, and it was running update. Timeline update. Remove. Oh. Yeah, I don't check to see if there's no schedule at all. If schedule is empty, return. Yeah, I don't know why the schedule's empty and next event time wasn't null. So there was some earlier bug that happened. Nope. No, that doesn't count. No such property mobs. Okay, so that's what happened. We had an error during iteration, and then that screwed with the state. That's probably something we should fix so that another problem. No, problem for another time. Mobs. So yeah, we can't get at mobs directly, but we'll go ahead and add a little safety measure in for next time. Shouldn't happen. That next event time is not equal to null and schedule is empty unless on event start throws exception and puts us in a bad state. Probably should add a guard for that. I want to see all the errors for now, but that's probably something I should fix. So settlement, we want to see. Okay, at least we have that. Oh, it's got a lot on got a lot on the stream tonight. 7 people, very cool. Okay, so let me see what else we're gonna want to do real quick. Each of these guys is going to want to schedule, so they're going to want a timeline, and they're going to want to be able to clear the timeline, set the timeline. Does timeline have a clear? It doesn't, but it should. Schedule clear. Sure. We don't need it because that's not what I'm gonna do. Let's see. During the day, at each given time, we want to give the managed mob a routine. We haven't defined routine yet. But routine looks like this. So let's do that. Routine.java. Mythruna specific code. Mythruna sim hab. Interface routine. We're going to need world time. Impoti. Imports. Oop. Oh, we don't need public. Oh yeah, we gotta position. So we're gonna have to. Where is position? Core position.java/s. It is in brain. Of course it is. Yeah, it's not clear whether routine should have been over in brain or here, but it's kind of a... we don't need that. What am I doing? This is what I wanted to do. Yeah, whatever. Okay. And we want to then have managed mob, routine, current routine, public void, update world time. So routine will need to be updated if current routine is not equal to null. Current routine update time. Yes. That looks fine to me. Public void set routine. Routine. Oh. Let's call it current. If I don't name them all the same, it'll come catch me later. If current routine, if this.current routine equals current routine, just a guard against stupid. And if this.current routine is not equal to null, we will want to... Oh, we don't have to do anything. We could get the last location. This current routine equals current routine. Oops. If let's go ahead and do that rather than having to keep track of last time. If current routine is not equal to null, current routine start time. Right, that's what I said. Start time, beep, beep, beep. And we update it on the bup, bup, bup. And on mob activated, sure. So that is something we will have to manage. There's no on deactivated, which we probably should have. Which I don't know that I will need. Where am I going to get those times, though? So agent type, void, date agent type, if objects equals this dot agent type, return, don't do nothing. This agent type equals agent type and old level was this we have to start from somewhere. Maybe I should just set the level. I think that's what I should do. Yeah. let's just set into agent level. Then I don't have to worry about all this. If int agent level. So if this dot agent level equals agent level, oopsie, return, and then we'll have -1. So this agent level equals agent level. If agent level equals agent type, what was it? This is the part where you guys can yell at me that if I had an IDE, it would like auto-complete this for me. Level high. Oops. Then we want to activate. I will have to keep track of the last time. So no way around that, unfortunately. So activate, else deactivate. Oops, deactivate. Is no, I don't need that. What I need is, sorry, I'm designing as I go. Boolean is active, return agent level equals high. And so if we're active, we're going to have to and current routine is not equal to null. Current routine, actually we can put this out here. If current routine is not equal to null, because we're going to have to do something on both. So if blah, 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 blah. Current routine activate and private world time started. So this started equals time. We just say last time and we don't have to pass it. Last time. Then we won't have to pass it. So started last time equals time. And so in here, activate, so routine on mob activated, on mob activated, on mob activated we started then, and we're currently at this time, and we'll do the same thing for deactivated. So activated and deactivated, in this case for the routine, we'll set it to like it's self-managing, or it's just going to let the AI run itself. If it's activated, it just puts it where it needs to be, sets up the state of the mob. Like if they were already supposed to be working at the anvil for the last hour, then it already puts the tool in their hand, fast forwards the work, and so on and so forth. Deactivated is there just because I feel like I feel better having it. Okay, so managed mob. If we set the current routine, it will override the last routine. If we're active, if is active, we probably want to deactivate the old one. Like we activated it, so we should deactivate it. And same here, if we start it and we are active, then we can activate it. So if the mob is already near us, we will go ahead and activate it near the player. I think this is all the logic we need. Oh, we're gonna need to agent type equals get agent type class object update agent level. I didn't change the name of that get level, and so we'll say update agent level. All right, let's see if it even compiles. That'll be amazing on its own. Nope. Oh yeah, last time. Started. That's all right. Start, update. We've called all the things except for the position stuff. Okay. I don't think we're going to get to that today. Maybe. The transit stuff. Oh, is it going to compile? It did. Okay, so it compiled. I am going to further... I think it's just get ID. I should call it entity ID. Okay, so that worked too. So that means my script... Yeah, okay, I commented that out. That's fine. Let's see. Let's go back in the game and do some prototyping. Prototyping? Yes, prototyping. Yes, yes, we like to prototype. Do 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 do. Need to design some weapons for the bandits too. I don't think they'd carry around a giant axe. Maybe. I think some daggers. A club. That's a tree felon axe. Alright, so... if we... what do I want to do? I want to... grep for bandit camp. Grep bandit. Nope. Camp. Okay, so we activated. We got a new day. This is where we would add to this timeline. But now we should be able to like see the mobs. Mob. Yep, okay, cool. They're all there. Yeah, so this is cool. What I have set up right now, the reason we can reload this is because, you know, I'm updating the habitat factory. So every time the game loads and needs to load this particular its particular habitat, it'll run this factory. And every time we reload the script, it also goes and finds all the existing bandit camps and resets them so that they'll reload this config. And that's why we can edit this while we talk and keep the game running. And so where this wants to do is it wants to find one of the issues is going to be that the order of these entities is bound to... Okay, we'll assume that the entities are always in the same order, because eventually towns and settlements will have sort of a spreadsheet that they keep track of their stuff. Today we're just asking the database for all of the mobs. In fact, we should be able to get their names. What is it? Character name, full name. See, I'm trying to be fancy. Yeah, there we go. There's their name. Yeah, she's got a really funky name. Sigfridini Oldshield, which is kind of cool. Like, the first name does kind of go with the last name. If you think like a Viking, Sigfridini, it's pretty close. But yeah, it's Sheving Stony Kvetti is one of the guys' names. Kale's Nada. I don't... Weird names. The name randomization engine is hit or miss. Okay, so I don't think I made an interval class, and that's unfortunate because this would be super useful. But what do we want to do? We want to have the ability to figure out what day this is since the beginning of time of a set of 3. So yeah, I didn't make an interval class. I wish I did, because what do I want to do? I did add divide though. So what we need to do is we've got midnight, and so we can say int days equals midnight. I spelled it correctly. Divide by world, yeah, by 24. So we want... so basically we're going to take whatever current time is, we're going to divide it by the current day. And we should get an even number of days. I think, though, divide is going to give me a double. I added a bunch of time math to the world time, which is cool. Did I not add a divide? I did not add a divide. Poop. So maybe that's not going to work. Can I get all of the days or just the current day? Yeah, it's going to give me just the day and the month. I want all of the days. Total game days. Yeah, so that's what we need. That should be okay. Log info days. Let's just make sure it's working correctly. Days 47,569. Day equals days percent. Oops. Percent mobs dot length days day. Let's call it day. I don't know what it means. So day 1. So if I advance a day, time plus 1 or 1d. So we'll advance a day. We'll see the sun go up and down. It should have run. Yep, it did. It ran. So it got a new day, right? And so, and we're in day 2. So, yeah. So basically, we picked the index of whoever is going to be the guy who has the middle watch that night, and that sets his day schedule, and then everybody else's schedule sets a certain way as well. So let's just say I actually just want the array. So we'll say mob equals array, or yeah, I mob. Let me make sure that this still works. It does. Okay. And so what we do here is we will add schedules, but we need a class for that. Class set routine extends. We'll call it a sched. And let's see. It extends abstract interval sched. And so we will have I think this will always be a daily. Well, I'll just make it a daily for now. Time of day. Routine. Super time of day. World time. Parse time. 24. Every 24 hours. This routine equals routine. Private routine. Private mob. Oops. We don't know what it is. Mob routine, this dot mob equals mob, and then on start and on catch up. I think. Let me see, do we get a catch up? On activate. No, we never got a catch up, which is fine. So I don't need to worry about that at the moment. So we just want to know on event start. I'm going to implement both I'll just wire them together. Which I think I can do. That is one thing I do. Oh no, we've got to. Sched result equals, just in case. What do I want to say? I want to say do routine. Return results. Basically, the way a sched, which is my schedule event, is a shorthand for a scheduled event. it returns the next time it's supposed to run, and so this abstract interval sched automatically knows to, pass the time appropriately. And so protected do void do routine. We want to call mob set current routine and let it work it out, which means down here we can set everybody's schedule. I won't worry about teams at the moment. So if I equals day, I equals day, short straw, crappy shift. Okay, so then for this we will add a sched. I think we're going to want a separate timeline for the mobs, so that we don't have to keep adding ourselves. Like this one will be, and so we'll call super update, and then we'll mob timeline update context time. And that way we can have a separate schedule. And so at the beginning of a new day, we will take the mob timeline and we'll clear it. So I'm glad I added a clear. And so timeline, add sched. And so for this, we want to add a new, let's make a routine, test routine, implements routine. Yeah, lots of boilerplate, I apologize. I just want to see the things run. At override public void. Boink, 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 boink. Any ID entity public test routine. Entity ID entity this dot entity equals entity. I think we can say entity say test private string message. I just want to see if the infrastructure's hooked up. This isn't a real thing, so we say test message, and I need to double check that entity ID say. I think it's set up already elsewhere. Return null, we're not using this yet. Yeah, we would need the real agent for that to do it right anyway. Alright, so we want to say we want to add a schedule just to see if it works at all. You are going to eat dinner. Everybody's going to eat dinner at new set routine set routine sched, and we say the time. I'm just going to steal this for a second. Time is going to be 6 o'clock. We want the mob, we're doing mob, and the routine, test routine, mob ID, Yeah, mob ID. Mob ID. Oops. Dinner. Okay, let me double check the say syntax. The brain can say. I think the entity can say. Let me just make sure. There'll be object APIs. NADID meta class is what we're looking for. I can also say set status text. I think I like that idea better. Anyway, we'll see if say works, and I'm gonna keep that as in my back pocket. Uh-oh. Timeline update. Oh, yeah, it's not. It's just update, right? Of course it is. Nope, nope, no. Where was I? Here. Okay, now we got a different problem, but it's not repeating over and over again. No such parse time. Oh, yeah. Parse world time. What line? 277. Parse world time. Here we go. Got another error. Yeah, so say, no signature method say. I was sure I added it somewhere. But I guess I did not. And so instead, we will set status text, which means I have to turn on status text. Too much code. Too much code. Okay, so entity set status text type. Oh, boogers. It's like debug status text. Status text. Okay, so let's look up status text. Oh. Alright, so it actually will talk if I do this, I think. Status text, type sound, message, duration, 20 seconds. Alright. Ah. Dinner. Ah! They're all at dinner. What time of day is it? It is, yeah, midnight. So they're all at dinner. Cool. So that worked. But let me move around behind them so we can see them a little better. All right. Yeah, the other thing I need to deal with, there's a bug where we all like shift forward, and it's a pain because eventually they'll walk off those edges over there. All right, so I'll move them over here so we can see. And now we have the ability to give them routines. And so if the day is that, and actually we'll just use that for first equals day, second equals day plus 1% mob length, and third equals day plus 2% mob length. So the second is the guy who gets the crappy one. Everybody else then gets a different shift. Switch, I don't know, if I equals first, else if I equals second, else if I equals third. So those are the shifts. And so then we want to add his schedule. If he's got the first shift, he goes to let's see, let's make it 9 p.m. that the shifts start. So that would be 2100. So he goes on watch at 2100. He goes on watch the next day. So 2400. And then this, and they sleep. Okay, so here's the way it goes. Middle shift sleeps at 2100 and then goes back to sleep the next day at 0300, right? And then he sleeps all the way through until here. He's got the simplest schedule. Something about bandits with routines and shifts sounds wrong. Well, I mean, you got to camp, right? You got to camp. Somebody's got to stay up and watch for wolves and things. Standard D&D rules, right? Okay, so he... wait. He has the first watch. So, yeah. Now we're on to something else. We get up the next day. Next day at 6 a.m. we go breakfast. And everybody has breakfast. And so he has got the simplest one. He stays up till 9. No. Okay, so I didn't give him his sleepy time. Yeah, so he goes to bed at 2400. So he's on watch at 9 o'clock, goes to bed at midnight, gets up at 6 a.m. for breakfast. The guy with the crappy shift, he goes on watch at 2100, goes to sleep at 2400, gets up goes to sleep at 2100, gets up at midnight, stands watch for 3 hours, and then goes back to bed at 6. See, the thing is, like, if you build these things into your world, you automatically have, like, things to hang story on, like your personal story. As you come up on the bandit camp, you'll see that they have a routine and they follow it and they go on patrol, and you can potentially use that to your advantage on how you deal with the bandits if you come across their camp during the middle of the day and there's just one guy there, that kind of thing. Okay, so then the last guy, he has the easiest. He goes to sleep and he gets up for watch at, so yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and potentially I could randomize the times a little bit so it's not exactly at specific hours. Okay, so he watches, sleeps all the way to breakfast. He sleeps, goes up for watch, sleeps again, gets up for breakfast, and he sleeps all the way through the night and gets up really early and then has breakfast. And then these guys, starting at 8 o'clock, 01, 08, or maybe 9. We'll say 9, they go on patrol. But the other guy stays back at camp. So he tends camp. Tends camp. And then the next day it all starts over again. So that should set them up. Oh boy. They did all the things right away. That's not right. Oh no. Okay, so that's not right. Oh, that's because of their catch-up. Because I didn't give them times based on today, they're all going to do catch-up. I need to get rid of the catch-up. Bandit maxing. Indeed. Okay, so now they're at breakfast. What's the time? So they should do the right thing now. There's like that catch up because I wired it directly to them. Then all the tasks fast forward and catch up. They shouldn't have, but that's a bug I can fix later. Okay, so then if we wait a minute while I figure out what I want to do with that catch up routine. See, that should have been fine actually. Oh yeah, they're not going to do it until 9 o'clock. Let me advance time a little bit. Time 1 hour. Okay, so we got a minute to wait. Oh yeah, it's still catching up. Okay, so when this ticks over to 9 o'clock, we should see them all do their daily thing, where 2 of them go on patrol and 1 says tend camp. Let's see. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? Is it going to work? And then I have to figure out why it fast forwarded through all the routines. It shouldn't have done that. All right. So they're on patrol. She tends camp. So now we should be able to advance time. Oops. Time 5 hours. Let's see what takes us to. So now we're at, yeah, so let's let it catch up for a second. We're 1400. So, and I set it to be 1800 is when the new day starts. Yeah, new day is 1800. Okay, so if I time 1 hour. Blink. All right, so we should be right about ready to start. Oh yes, see, they all run through the full day every new day, and then they should do their night routine here in a minute. But that's a problem. They shouldn't all run through the day like that. Yeah, that's the catch-up of rescheduling there. So when it gets to... Is it 1900 I had him go to bed? Yeah, so when that kicks over to 1900, we should see who takes what watch. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. 19, blink. Uh-oh. That's not good. So the schedule is not working correctly. Or we already ran them. And didn't schedule new ones. I think I will set this up a little different. Just to rule out some things. Oh no, it's at 2100. Never mind. I gave them several hours for dinner. It's at 2100 that they flip over. Okay, so let's wait a second. I think I can only advance time by an hour at a time. Like a day, hour, month kind of thing. I don't think I can do minutes. So, and I want to watch the time tick over. So we'll give it 30 seconds. Come on, come on, come on, come on. 9, 50, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boink. Hey! Why didn't you go to sleep, sir? Did I get his time wrong? Everybody but one should have gone to sleep. And did it? Oh man, who did what? Yeah, see, I forget. Was she on watch again? That shouldn't have been right. Let me make sure I got my settings set up right. User interface. I could have set debug text. That would have been better. How do I set the debug text? Let's see, what's debug text? See, debug text, I just have to set the text. Let's do that instead. So instead of set status text, let's just do entity new debug text message. Boink. Okay, so she's on watch again. That shouldn't have happened. Like, so if I time 1D. Okay, no, it did rotate the watch. So we go a full day and it rotated the watch. I guess that's fine. I think we're getting caught in the, what I was talking about, crossing midnight. And so, yeah. So the start times get messed up because we're not setting real start times. This is definitely a problem. And also, I'm going to put back the say too, because that was telling us when they all stacked up. Right? See, that's bad. We don't want that. And so what I think I need to do is, when I set these start times, they need to actually be start times. I can't just get away with having it cycle through them all to catch them up. And so then down here, where we found midnight, then all of these need to actually be, first of all, let's set some times. Time dinner equals midnight, add 1800. Okay, so that'll set dinner that time. Yeah, actually, I can, yeah. Def sleep 1 equals midnight 2100. Sleep 2 equals midnight 2400. And sleep 3, I should be able to just add, but I'm gonna do 103 and then def breakfast equals midnight, add 1 day 6, and then patrol. And they start patrolling at 9, and let me just log all these. Log info sleep 1, just to make sure the math did correct things. This is all new code, so whoops. Log info sleep 2. Sleep 2, log info sleep 3. Sleep 3. Log info breakfast. Breakfast, log info, patrol. Okay, so then I should be able to take all these out. All of these 1800s, that should be dinner, okay. And then all these 2100s, I can say they should be sleep 1. Replace. Then all of these should be sleep 2. Oops, skip. Replace. Yeah. Then these should be sleep 3. Replace. These should be breakfast. Replace. And then these should be patrol. Yeah, patrol time, which is also the same time as tend to camp. That's when the day starts. Okay, so we do this. Okay, watch, sleep. Okay, we might have just passed yeah, we just passed the milestone, which is why they finished up watch, now they're sleeping, and this person's on watch, yeah. So there was a catch-up there. I should not be wiring the catch-up to the thing like I did, I guess. Well, I guess if there was a different location, then I would have had to have transitioned, so that maybe that is correct. Anyway, so let's advance time a little bit. 2 hours, spike T. So as soon as it goes over 6, we should see them all transition to breakfast. Hey, they're all eating breakfast. Okay. And then let's time 1 hour just to get it a little bit faster. Okay. So actually I probably should have done 2 hours. I can quickly do another one. There we go. When they cross over 9 o'clock, they should go do their different jobs. And he should get the tend camp today. Because he was on watch. Middle watch, I think. Unless we could have gone over another day, so it could be him. Right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blink. Yep, he tends camp. So yeah, we crossed over another day while we were messing with code. Okay, so they're all on their schedules now. And they don't necessarily fast forward through all the things, which is good. In fact, I think if I can test this by resetting the script. Blink. Oh, they did run through all of their day again. Yeah, so that's a problem I'm going to have to fix, but maybe not a problem we need to fix. They ran up their day up to where they were supposed to be. Can I just get rid of the mapping of catch up to the do routine? I think I can just do that. Nope, they still ran through them all. That's not good. Is this a day wrapping issue? We're already on the next day. So midnight today. If we're currently before 6 p.m. we need to run the problem is that I try to hook these up to real things, it's going to be a real problem that it fast forwards through them all so quickly. So I kind of need to get that worked out. So let me think what's happening. We come across a new day. Down here. This midnight might not be accurate. Like if I say super choop choop, like he tends camp. We really quickly ran through all of the things though. Okay, so let's look at these times. Okay, we started on the 2nd, 4:02. Yeah, so new day 4:02. And yeah, so all of these are oh, those wrapped around to today again. I think, yeah, so the math is not mathing correctly. I thought that if I added a day here that it would automatically wrap, but that is not the case. I think only the midnight worked that way. And so then so from here I'm gonna have to add, I'm gonna have to use, that's the next midnight. And so then sleep 2. This is not the only problem, because this is going to set the schedule for tomorrow, but it did fix the issue, right? But the problem is now, if we're after midnight, then we actually scheduled for tomorrow. We didn't schedule for yesterday, which is okay, actually. No, because we haven't scheduled dinner. Like, even if we fast forward to dinner, it's not going to work. I do believe time 4 hours. What's that going to take us to? Like, when it gets to 1800, they're not going to transition, I believe. Well, that's going to reset the day. Yeah, okay, they did. Because it's the new day and we reset the schedule. Yeah, so it's only when we're resetting the script that we'll have a problem. Because the new day code will run every day at 6. Even if our schedule's messed up, it will reset the schedule. So somebody else, he shouldn't have the watch tonight. Oh, let's see, they're all about to fall off the edge. And I'm moving in the same direction, so I'm about to fall off eventually. Okay, so they're at dinner. I should be able to like fast forward time 2 hours. Oops. So it should hit 2100 soon, and they should go into their shifts. If things are working correctly. Okay, so he's on watch. He should also be the one tending camp today. So let's run through time 2 hours again. So far, so good. Ooh, my neck. How many United Statesians do I have in the audience? Did any of you guys celebrate the 4th? So let's see, who switches watch? Boink. Okay, so they got the watch now. So they've got the middle watch. So they're the ones who should, I'm sorry, they're the ones who should be tending camp today. They've got the middle watch. Okay, so we should be able to fast forward time again, 2 hours to get to 3 a.m. Okay, we spent a lot of time watching time tick by. Come on, watch, sleep, watch, sleep. So you should get the watch next. You should be tending camp today. Guy on the left should be tending camp today. She should get the next watch. Alright, watch, okay. So now we should be able to do... So we're going to wait till 6. Everybody will go to breakfast. Yeah, one of the issues with the old prototype is I spent a lot of time making templates for all this stuff, you know, so that they have jobs, templates, and then it occurred to me during design this last week or so that most of the time it's code that's gonna, just like this, it's code that's gonna be creating it. You don't need templates and things, you just instantiate the things, because it's like a simple routine to assign the stuff. And eventually it'll be, you know, for towns, there'll be some, you know, agent logic in there, like GOP or something that you know, decides what the town's activities are going to be that day based on the state of the world. But for a bandit camp, it's pretty simple. Although I do want to eventually have logic for, you know, if they come back to their camp and their tents have all burned down, or, you know, if the player had been there What did they do to rebuild their camp? Do they move it periodically? That kind of thing. The point, ultimate point being, is that I want to try to avoid totally random encounters. These guys should all have some amount of life to them. They should have a daily job, perhaps even history. Like, I would eventually like to say which towns they come from. Okay, so patrol. Yep, he tends the camp. He was the one with the middle watch. Okay, so the schedules are set up correctly. Now and since we're watching them, we could actually create dispositions for them to do the thing. Yeah, we could potentially give them activities to do for their different patrols. So tend camp, I think, will be to like periodically head to the campfire and then random wander. So how do we set that up? We add a disposition. And I'm trying to steal these guys would walk to the nearest object. I don't want to walk to the nearest object. I want to walk randomly. Can I set the steering? Is that something I can do? Set steering. Yep. Okay, so we could just give them... Alright, so let's make an activity that... day activity. Let's make a... That's a basic bandit. We'll leave that up there. Where does it configure its... Oh no. We'll put this up here. So instead of day activity, we want this to be the tend camp activity. If we've gotten too far away, from the camp, we'll want to walk back. Entity ID camp. So public this.camp equals camp. Don't want any of that stuff. Actually, we call it tend location. That's okay. We'll set this walk to nearest object, set max iterations, add target. Let me see what it used to do. Oh yeah, it made sure that it could actually go there anyway. That's fine. Rel, excuse me, camp location. Camp. And as long as we get within 2 meters of it, we're fine. See if we're already there. Double distance equals so let's calculate the camp location when we start. Oops. This dot camp location equals camp location. I think I'll use this for the breakfast activity too, to make sure that they all come back. So distance equals, can I find context agent location distance squared, distance squared camp location. If this squared is greater than 8, then fork the walk job, and on failure do this, and then if we are forked, return. Otherwise, yeah, wait, that's fine. Let's see, is it going to compile? Nope. New wait action. Oh yeah, because we didn't. Wait action. We're going to need our own wait action over here. Hopefully it doesn't cause problems. We can call this wander action. And wander action. And then when we start, get agent set steering primitives. I'm going from memory. Let's actually look. Steering primitives. Wander. Wander. Yeah, these are not what you think. What's a good wander? Do I already have a wander over here? Nope. 0.5, 0.75, 1.0. And then so all of the wait action we want to be a wander action. Place, replace. Will it compile this time? No. Day activity. Oh yeah. Tend camp activity. Replace. Okay, will it compile this time? It did. Okay. Now, who's tending camp? Nobody. But dinner and breakfast. I'll make them all tend camp at that. But we'll get that. We'll get it hooked up in a second. Because the next thing we're going to need to do is set up the dispositions. The disposition. What a show. if you want to say. We added the disposition. Why did we override anything? I think we just wanted to debug stuff, yeah. I kind of like this. So we're going to do similar, but we're going to need more boilerplate than that apparently. Brain config, that's right. Configure the brain. The brain. Okay, so configure the brain. We want to add an activity disposition to tend camp. And we want that to be a tend camp activity, and we are going to pass the camp. Oh. That's a problem. Sorry, just joined, went to some restaurant. Nice. Was it a good restaurant? Good food? Do I have access to the agent ID out here? Let us see. So we're going to configure the brain is what we're looking for. Configure the brain. Yes, it was some Turkish restaurant. Oh, interesting. I'm not sure I've had Turkish food either. Sounds cool. Are we even configured? We're looking for configure me owner. Did I ever set anything to basic bandit? Ooh. Like when I make bandit, that would be, hold on. That'd be over here where we make bandit. I say basic bandit. Okay, so you should be a basic bandit. That's right, it wouldn't have had an agent type otherwise. Okay, so it should have configured the brain. Let me add some additional look at me stuff. Make it easier to see in the log. Okay. I wonder if it's because we're not resetting the AI. So if I go over here, it's resetting the hab. Was this before reset agent config? Yep. Okay, so this is what we want over here. Down at the bottom, if true, reset the agents. So agent type for any of those guys, reset the. Okay, so now we should see. Yeah, there we go. Yay! Okay, so brain. By that point, will it have its entity ID? So many things to hook up. Agent. It may not have its agent yet. Yeah, because we're just configuring the disposition graph. It won't have an agent yet. So that's a problem. So I need to change how I'm doing something. I'm hungry. So, like, I've never had Turkish before, but now I'm hungry for Turkish. Yeah, now you're making me think, what should I have for dinner? So this is going to tell me that that's null. Yep. We should all eat. Okay, so then tend to camp activity is going to have to look up the camp. So we can't do camp location like this. Camp is going to be and we need maybe I can entity data at least. There's some life cycle issues to work out here because this is not right. Because I should have access to that stuff already. And so we want to say camp equals ed get component child of filter context, what is it, agent activity context, boink boink brain agent activity, agent, and then agent has an ID which is, oh, it doesn't, entity ID, okay. Context agent entity ID child of dot class, no, find entity dot no this is no this isn't right. Context agent entity ID child of dot class parent. I have child of open already. Parent. Yep, just parent. Parent. Let's see if that. Ooh, nobody. It doesn't like that. How do I always end up taking the? Yeah, that's such a common thing. All right, so then it should be self-sufficient at this point. See you. So 10 camp. Set the 10 camp activity. breakfast, we'll set the breakfast. We'll do the same thing, but we'll set, we'll say good morning. Dinner, we'll say dinner, we'll say eat up. Okay. So those are going to configure, but they're not going to do anything because we're not actually setting the dispositions. Okay. And then we need to set the signal handlers up. Always something. Let me see. How do I configure that? On signal. See, there should be like a default mapping, to be honest. Because who sets the... Maybe there is. Because who sets the night disposition? Oh, that was my action. That's right. This is signal. It's up here somewhere. We send signal when we get... Oh, poop. Night, we definitely set. Night activity. Brain actions. Oh, it's probably set from the other thing. The standard NPC, unfortunately. Night. Yeah. Set disposition night. Okay, so set disposition is what we're looking for. That's what we want our routine to do. So let's make our test routine private string disposition. This dot disposition equals disposition. And so then we need to set the mob, object mob, which should maybe already be provided for us. So this is the things I gotta, like, once I have everything working, I need to set the life cycle up. Oh, but this is the agent. How do I get the agent? Yeah. There ought to be... a set signal that is on the entity ID. How did we do it over here? Set disposition, set brain. Oh, yeah. We could avoid signals completely. So entity, brain, get disposition graph, activate disposition. Make a logger. Get logger test routine dot class. Okay, it's 11. I'm going to try to get this hooked up. So at least they set their activity. see what happens. Dope. Okay, could not find constructor for test routine. Oh yeah, of course. Because we need to say dinner. Watch. Sleep. You know what? I'm just going to make all these the same rather than having to. The message is the disposition. I'm going to say tend camp. And that means we're going to have to add. So this is fine. We'll just make this disposition. Disposition. Okay, so that should at least work there. Okay, well, we got a little further. No such property message for. Oh yeah. Okay. But why are you guys sleeping? Ugh. It could be a day wrapped around sort of thing. Test routine. Did test routine log anything? No character agent driver. Clear leftover steering movement. Yes, all that's good. So what is today? Today is the 4th, and yeah, all of their things are set for the 4th and tomorrow. So that's what happened. That's what I was talking about. Like if we reset now, that we have to wait till 6 o'clock before things get reset correctly. But that gives us a little time because I have to add dispositions for all of these things, or it'll complain. So like I have breakfast, 10 camp, we're going to need patrol. And that should be a, yeah, we'll wire it together for now. Breakfast, patrol, 10 camp, dinner. Watch. March. Okay. Patrol, watch. Oh, looking out. And sleep. Sleep. Okay. Alright, let's see if everything fails horribly if we advance time 3 hours. Oh, I needed to advance it more than that. They're about to fall off the ledge. Okay, so they should all eventually reset here to dinner. And then either fail, yeah, they're going to fail gloriously. Error during iteration. What error during iteration? Time cannot go backwards. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, let's try resetting. See if that fixes it. Nope. So what's it trying to do? It's trying to take me 4:04:18. Can't go backwards because our start is at 4:05, 9 o'clock. Then why are we trying to run it? Set routine sked. Am I still mapping things? No. Come on, man. Just want to see the thing work. I bet something else is failing and causing this to fail, so I need to scroll back. Yeah. Ambiguous method, distance squared for null. Okay, so then that's where the real failure is, on line 72. Camp location, yeah, so camp location was null. Yeah, camp location. Okay, something else went wrong. Probably. We got a null pointer exception I saw there. No such property in it. Oh, great. Line 61. Once again, I left the T out. Oh! Eat up, eat up, eat up, eat up. Okay, so they're all wandering at dinner. Super fast. Now they're all sleeping. Yeah. Oh, he's coming back. He got too far away from camp. So he came back. So that's working. And now he's going to super wander. I forgot. Yeah, like when you're he's sleeping. Like they're busted. Like essentially I shouldn't let that fail. But for whatever reason they couldn't navigate back up here. But yeah, the reason the reason for that is because a wander action should be scaled. It's trying to wander at speed of 1, which is running. So scale speed, and then we want to set it down to like 0.2. I think will make him wander slow. Okay, so there you go. He's gonna wander slow now. Oh, and you made it back up. So they're walking in their sleep. Yeah, and so for whatever reason, she can't make it back up. I don't know why. Alright, so it's, I mean, in principle, it's working. She's got the watch. See, she failed her activity, which is, and it didn't restart the activity, which is why she, yeah. Yeah, their wander primitive needs to be set up a little different so that they don't just squirrel around. I think this needs to be like 0.2. Okay, so they should looking out. Come on, you. Oh, come on, you can do it. Why can't you jump up? Stuck on the tent. Maybe if I gave her a ramp. Or a, oh, now she wants to go to sleep. Okay, that's not it. I need to E. Let's make a slab down. Let's give you a little bit of a, there we go. Oops. There you go. Can you get up now? I also think this number should be smaller than did something break? Or if we, oh, we might be over midnight. Yeah, we passed midnight. So let's time 15 hours. Yeah. That'll be almost dinner time again. I really got to fix the pathfinding, but we're getting there. I think I might advance one more hour. So get us to 6 o'clock a little faster. 1800. And I have to fix the day thing. So basically, yeah, so why can't she get up? So pathfinding's messed up right now. Okay, probably they need, for the amount of turning they're doing, they probably need to wander a little faster. That is not awful. Why she can't navigate? Oh, she might be too close to want to navigate up. Yeah, oh no, so she tried. For whatever reason, she can't navigate up here. That's weird, because they did. He fell down and he got back up. Oh, so that's a nav problem, and I'll spend my life debugging navigation problems. I don't know why she can't get up. Maybe she'll try again. But anyway, they're wandering around for dinner. I need to give them places to sit and get their sit animations working and stuff like that. But in principle, the schedule's working. I think that's probably where I'm going to end it. We got our little laugh of seeing them run around like chickens with their heads cut off all over the camp. I need to create the patrol activities. I think with a patrol activity, what's going to be is they're going to pick a direction and do pathfinding in that direction, but within like a certain radius. And so they'll pick random directions, but will never leave like a certain, or we'll try not to leave a certain radius so that they can always get back to camp. And presumably if they do pathfinding, they can always navigate back to camp. Yeah, so so like the wander parameters need to be tweaked quite a bit. Let's give this 0.4. Let's let them walk a little faster. Let's let this move a little slower. Hey, she made it up. Yay, they're all back at camp. And they have a little bit more realistic wander behavior now. Hey, check it out. Okay. So yeah, I'm seriously, that's where I'm going to end it tonight. They're doing their schedule. There are bugs. I'll fix the bugs, but this is promising, and we're getting closer to having like a living world with NPCs that actually do stuff. So yeah, we're getting there, right? So thanks a lot for joining, guys. Like, comment, subscribe if you think that's cool. If you like the left tent better than the right tent, this tent, if you like that one better, comment that, which tent you like better. I think I like the slightly bigger tent better. But that's all I got. So let's do the thing. Yep, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Consider joining the Patreon if you want. It does help. And you get access to the private channel on the blah, 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 Discord, blah, blah, blah. Everybody can get access to the regular channel. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.